guys, I've got another YouTube video here. This one's about how to use Microsoft Visio. Now, if you go down to the Microsoft bar and type in Visio, V-I-S-I-O, it'll pop up. Open this up. When you open it up, have a look along here, because you've got to select the correct one. Don't just open any old blank one like in Word. Go to Categories, click Engineering, and we're going to be using the Parts and Assembly drawing one today. Metric Units, and Create. Alright, at this point, go to View. Click on this little grid bar here. I like to see the grid. It won't get printed out later, but it's handy for other stuff. Move across the tabs until you get to Design. Now, mine might tend to freak out at this point. For I'm going to say a good 30 seconds. Oh, no, it's giving me not so long. Then go to Page Setup. So after you've clicked on the little Design tab, go down to this little bar here with the arrow in it next to Page Setup. And change it to Landscape. And click Fit To. We'll go to our drawing scale, and we'll make our scale... let's make it 1 to 2.5. Well, yeah, 1 to 2.5. Apply. Okay. Alright. With Microsoft Visio, it's very much two-dimensional, but that ticks off a lot of the issues that we have with drawing a lot of your things for your Year 12 exam stuff. It's all two-dimensional. There's very few three-dimensional drawings you have to do. All pretty much two-dimensional. All the drawings I give you for spinning tops and plumb bobs and fidget spinners and parallel bars, they're all two-dimensional too, and they're all drawn using this program. Alright, so from here, we want to start drawing a spinning top. Spinning top has quite a few useful things and useful tools to be able to create it, so let's start. Now, up in this little box here, I've clicked on the drop down and use line. I pretty much use line for everything. I don't like using rectangle because it tends to get rid of your grids. We don't like that. I like the grids. And it'll make it harder to do other stuff. But we can make a box using our line. Using our line, we'll go click across. Now, the big thing is not to, once you've created a line there and it still has its little connecting points at the end, don't click on one of those connecting points, because it will guess what you're trying to draw. And if I go down like that, if I don't click off, now see how it tries to want to draw this square for me. I don't want a square, because then it'll turn it into one of those boxes again. It'll get rid of my grids. No good. Control Z. Alright, back to our line. Once we have our line with these little connecting dots, I'm going to click off somewhere else. When the connecting dots are finished, then it won't guess what I'm drawing. So at that point, I can then click and drag, click away, click and drag, click away, click and drag, and click away. And now it hasn't got rid of the grid in the middle here for us. So just remember to click off once you've drawn something. Alright, now, to start with, I'm going to draw a side view of the spinning top. Now, this line here can be our very first part, but we want to change it a little bit. So let's go Pointer Tool. It's going to be the very top of the central mast on our spinning top. Let's drag it down here a little bit further. Simply click on it, drag it down. Now, the spinning top central shaft is only 8 mil in diameter. How long is this one, you may ask? It is 0.2 of a metre, so it's 200 mil long. Now I can check that again. Now see down here it says 0.2. If I click off, then it's not selected. But as soon as I click on it, it will tell me how long it is, and it says it's 0.2. Now another way to check that would be to go to Dimensioning Engineering. Click on Dimensioning, and let's actually put like a measuring tool on it. When I drop that measuring tool on the page, it has yellow dots and grey dots. If I zoom in a little bit on that, if I hold Control and scroll with my mouse, it says 0.03. I don't like that measurement. I want everything in millimetres. Right click, precision and units, change the precision just to 10, change the units to millimetres. Show the units so we know it's millimetres, and go OK. Alright, so that part there is 25 millimetres, but I want to measure this line. Grab the grey box, drag it down, grab the white box, drag it down. To increase the dimension lines here, I can increase, decrease those. If I want to move a number somewhere because it's in the road, use the other yellow box. Alright, now, I said it wasn't 200, I said it was much, much smaller. So our size for the top of our spinning top is 8mm in diameter. So let's drag this, let's leave that there. Let's click back on the dimension, because I was on the line then, and make the dimension all the way down to 10. Let's leave it at 10 at the moment. It's very hard to get the accuracy right. I can get 7, I can get 5, or I can get 8. Let's pretend I couldn't. If I want to make that easier, let's bring that down so it's close to. If I want to bring that down so it's easier to get that exactly right, which is a bit big on our page, I might have to change our scale. Let's zoom back in. Is simply zoom in. And to zoom in, hold Control and scroll in and out with your mouse. If you want to go sideways, hold Shift. Sideways. If you want to go up and down, don't hold anything and just scroll up and down with your mouse. Alright, now we're making this nice and exact. I want to scroll in a bit more, zoom in a bit more. Alright, at this point we should be able to get a really exact number. And you can see there, this little grid here will be 2mm, 4mm, 6mm, 8mm. Nice and exact. Alright, let's make our line the same. Bang. Let's bring that down a bit. I don't want it too far away. Now the length of our spinning top was 30mm long. Let me draw a line 30mm long. If you have a look down the side of the screen there, you'll see I'm hovering between 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, sorry, went too far. 34, 33, 32, 30. There we go. Drop it at 30. I'll put a measurement tool on that too, just so you guys can see it. Bang. Now I can't move it at the moment. And I can't move it because I'm on drawing tool. So at the moment I'm drawing lines. I can't do anything except for draw lines. If I want to modify this, over here I go to pointer tool. Click on pointer tool. Stretch that line. Now it says 0.3 again. It's got this weird number that's hard to understand. I want a nice millimetres number that's easy for me to understand. If I click back on the 8mm that I've already changed, right click again, and say set as page default. Then all of our measurements will be in millimetres. Alright, let's fill that in a little bit more. Let's make it a full rectangle there. I'll zoom back in so I got my detail on the corner. Back to that box, click off. Alright, that's our central shaft. Let's draw the flywheel that's attached to that now. Now our flywheel is 11mm high. So let me put a measurement here that you guys can see. Drop. I can't move it. Let me go back to pointer tool. It changes everything to these yellow and grey boxes. I'm going to drag that off that way. And my grey and white boxes are close. Let's drag a little bit closer. There we go. That's perfect. Alright. Now, I said I want the flywheel to be 11mm. So let's go down. I can't quite see that. I can move this number so I can see it. I can paste it there and it'll permanently stay there. That's 13, 12, 11. There we go. If I want to go a bit more detailed, I can then count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So at the moment, my grid is a mil per grid line. As you zoom out, that changes. So you've got to check it all the time. Make sure you know how many grid boxes are doing at the moment. Each grid is 5 millimeters. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. All right, so anyway, let's go back to our 11. Here's our 11. Now, our central shaft should really have a centre line drawn on it, because I like measuring off the centre. For some things you can't measure off the centre, but a lot of the time you'll be able to. Let's draw a centre line. Now I can just count this up. I know it's 8 mil, so 1, 2, 3, 4. There's our middle. Draw a little line. That doesn't look like a centre line. Let's zoom out a bit. I'll drag it a bit further. If I want to drag it, I don't want to draw another line. Go to back pointer tool. Click on it. Drag it up. Still doesn't look like a centre line. Now to change it to a centre line, go over to line tool. Click on the drop down. Go down to weight first. Let's make it really skinny. Centre line should be relatively skinny. Go back to the line tool, click on the drop down, go to dashes and change it to a dot dash. There we go. So a dot dash line represents a centre line. Alright, let's go back to our line tool, and we know that our flywheel is 20 mil in diameter. So if it's 20 mil in diameter, then it's 10 mil, then it has a 10 mil radius. So from the very centre, I can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. When I drop that, I can also look down here, and it is 0.01 of a metre, which you can do the quick conversion in your head, is 10 millimetres. Alright, but I want this thing to be 20 millimetres in diameter. That's only the radius, and it says 10. So I go back to the pointer tool, I click here, and I drag this one out. Boop, until we got 20. There we go. I lie, it's not 20. I had a look at the plans then, I forgot. It's actually 25. I'm an idiot. Let's go back to 0. Now, instead of making this one, let's leave it at that. 10, like I have here, half of 25 is 12.5. So 10, 11, 12, and a half. Now I do the same thing and I increase this to 25. Click. Drag, 23, 24, 25. Alright. Next step, we could have done that different ways too, guys. We could have left that there, and we know this one is 12.5. We can count it again. We can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 and a half. What I could have done is gone right click, copy, right click, paste, and pasted it there. It's not as central as I would have liked, so I can double click, click on that, and I can move it more central. Okay, what's next? Before you machine this piece of aluminium off, it's quite long, so let's draw the whole piece of material. Down, block, down, block. You'll notice I didn't click away that time, but I was drawing somewhere else, so it didn't matter. Click, block. Alright, I think that's about the point I'm at some of my videos at the moment. So we've got our piece of 8mm and we're about to push it in just like that. Now, where it pushes in, it's actually smaller. Where it pushes in, it's supposed to be 6.12. So let's make some modifications. Pointer tool. Click on this one. Let's shorten that back up. Click on this one. Let's shorten that one back up. Now, we said it was 6 mil in diameter. Now, if I zoom out a little bit, you can see those grids changed on me there. If I grab my drawing tool again, I can count out. 1, 2, 3. Draw down. Bang. Probably not quite long enough there. Pointer tool. Bang. I'm just going to copy that rather than drawing it again. Copy. Paste. And drag it into place. Alright. There is more on here when it's in the lathe, but I've drawn it here as if it's not there at the moment, so it's already been cut off. Alright, now having a look back at our drawing tool down here and our flywheel. I want to machine our flywheel next, so you guys can picture that this part here has been put into the chuck, and our aluminium flywheel is the part that's spinning around. Now, the problem is here, just before, let's change some lines here to make it make more sense. If this part's the big aluminium flywheel, then you shouldn't be able to see these two lines. So if they're hidden, we should go click, line, dashed, dot. If something's dotted, if a line's dotted, it means it's hidden. So even though we know there's something there, we can't really see it in the drawing. And we should probably change those to be a bit finer as well. Weight, half, line, weight, half. Alright, so we've got that so far. Now we want to start machining this to a certain angle. And the angle is 60 degrees. Alright, so the next tool is to use an angle tool. So back over on drawing tool shapes. Oh no, sorry, back in dimensioning engineering. If we scroll down a little bit, you'll see, I like this one, angle uneven. Let's use it. No, let's use angle even. Click, drag it over onto the page. We want to drop it, hopefully, right in the middle here. I'm going to drop it somewhere else so you can see what it looks like. Alright, it's really big. Let me change a few things first, guys. It's too small for our page. I'm going to change my scale just so you can see it fitting on the page better. So I go back to design. I go to page setup. I go to drawing scale. Now I'm at, what am I at? 1 to 2.5. Let's change that to 1 to 1, I reckon. It'll increase our size a bit. 1 to 1. Apply. Okay. Yeah, it's increased the size. It's off the page, but we can highlight, cut, and drop that somewhere. Yeah, probably somewhere about there. Alright, I've zoomed back in on it. Sometimes the problem there, when you drop it in places, it won't be on a nice set of lines. While it's still highlighted, I'm going to move it so that it is on one of these. Maybe so that the center line lines up with this one really well. If I just go click, drag it to the middle there. There we go. That one lines up with that line. I like that. Alright, and it fits on our page a lot better now. Alright, let's keep going. That's kind of in my road. It's annoying. Click on the yellow box. Drag the 30 out of the road. Now, back to our angle here. Our angle says 90 degrees. That's all well and good. But where I want to measure from is from the very tip of our spinning top out to the edge. So this is the corner here. So I'm going to drag that little white square and put him right in the middle. Then I'm going to drag this yellow one. Nope, I'm not going to drag that. Let's drag the grey one. And we'll put it right around there. Now, you can see we've got 83 degrees, 90 degrees. It will snap to 45 degrees. So when I say snap to, see how it sort of really will sort of grab that 95 quite well. Yep. But we don't want 95, we wanted 60. So, 60.7. Now this can be a bit fiddly, and what we can do again, guys, is zoom right in if you can't get it. 60.3, 60.4. Let's bring it all the way in here. And I'm going to shrink that up a bit because I want it nice and small. Drag that out a bit. I want to be able to see it on my page. I'm just dragging the number down. 60.9. Going to get it. This can take some patience sometimes, guys. There we go. 60.00. Well, 0.0. I'm going to leave that number just there. Alright, now when I zoom out, you can clearly see I've got 60 degrees there. Now I'm just going to copy that. Copy, because I don't want to do it again. No, I don't want to do something different, sorry. Let's not do that. Let's instead draw a line. Now we know that that was 60 degrees, and back to home, back to draw, click on the very middle, follow that angle that we just drew, and across to there. Alright, now when I zoom in right over here, with my control scroll button, I know that that finished just there. I'm going to draw a line across. This is just going to be a construction line, guys. Let's zoom out again. Shift and scroll. I want to increase that all the way across. Back to pointer tool. Back across. Now I want to change that to a much skinnier weight. And I also want to change it to a construction pattern. Construction pattern is a dashed line. Dashed line, construction line. It's just showing that something's there, and it helps us build everything else off that. Alright, now we don't have to do our angle again. We can just, well, let's just draw it again. We can simply draw from the middle here. Back up. Now it's not exactly sure it wants to go, so I'm going to drop it there. I'm going to zoom in, pointer tool, and there you go. You can drop it right on that construction line. Alright, so you guys can see we've got 60 degrees. We have that. What else do we want? Let's put in a measurement to see how long this flat is here. This flat is dimensioning engineering. Scroll back up. A vertical one. Drop it just there. Zoom out a bit. It's facing the wrong way. I'm just going to move that over there. Grey boxes to grey and white boxes to change that sort of stuff. White box. There we go. Move that out a smidge. There we go. Got the grey and the white box right on the line. I don't like that 4 there because it's kind of crossing another line. I'm going to move it and pop it. I was hoping it'd not nicely line up there. There we go. Beautiful. 4. I don't like that 11 so far out. Let's get it a bit closer too. There we go. 11. 30. We're doing pretty well. I think that'll do us for now, guys. Make sure you save that. Just save it under your desktop at the moment, or save it in your engineering folder. File. Save as. Materials engineering drawing. That's a good one. Yep, let's save it there. And call it spinning top. Let's get rid of the aluminium. I don't want to call it anything else. Spinning top. Part 1. Save. And that's it. I'll finish recording. I'll upload this very shortly.